Hello, Dr. Vapes here. I'd like to talk to you about something that everyone talks about but no one really knows a lot about, and that is VG and PG, the two carriers for vapes. VG is vegetable glycerin, PG is propylene glycol. As you all know, PG is better for dissolving flavors, VG is better for your throat. Well, why is all of this true? Well, being a chemist and working with solvents and things like this for all my life, I have a pretty good idea. Now, there's one maxim in chemistry that we go by when choosing solvents. Like dissolves like. Polar compounds dissolve in polar solvents. Nonpolar compounds dissolve in nonpolar solvents. Like dissolves like. Let me show you the spectrum, nonpolar to polar. On the very nonpolar end, we have molecules containing a lot of carbon and hydrogen bonds. I will draw out for you propane. C, 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 H, H, H. There you go, propane. See, it's all carbon-hydrogen bonds. It's as nonpolar as you get. When you pick up a tank of propane for your barbecue grill, I might say LP, that's liquefied propane. So, in order to make it more polar, we have to add carbon-oxygen bonds. If we add 1 to propane, C, 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 we'll do this, OH, that's a hydroxyl group, carbon-oxygen bond, and then we have all the hydrogen atoms all the way around. That is propanol. Okay, if you move this hydroxyl group to the middle one, C, 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 OH, and hydrogens all around, this is isopropanol. Okay, isopropyl alcohol. That's what it looks like. Carbon, OH, and hydrogens all the way around. If we want to go more polar, let's add a second hydroxyl group. Okay? OH, OH, and hydrogens all the way around. Now this is propylene glycol. I'll write it down here. COL. Propylene glycol. See, these are alcohols with 1 hydroxyl. These are glycols. It has 2 hydroxyls, 2 carbon-oxygen bonds, and it's more polar. Okay, let's make it even more polar. Let's add 3. H, OH. Got 3 carbon-oxygen bonds, more polar. Hydrogens all around. Okay, this is glycerin. If you derive it from a vegetable source, it's vegetable glycerin, VG. If you've heard the term triglyceride, that's based on glycerin. You're just attaching long chains to each of these OHs. More polar. Now, if we want to go even more polar, what do you suppose we have to do? Well, let's get rid of the carbons completely. Let's have our OH. And instead of a carbon, let's put a hydrogen out here. Recognize that, Will? Well, that's water, isn't it? And there you have it. Non-polar to polar. All carbon bonds. All no carbon bonds. Now essential oils and flavorings, they tend to be over here on the non-polar side. So you can see if you want to get something to dissolve, let's choose isopropanol. Well, that'll explode in your mod, and it's not really good for your body anyway. So the next best choice is propylene glycol. It works pretty well. Glycerin, of course, more polar yet. We're getting kind of far away from the flavoring area, so it's not as good. Now let's talk about the feel at the back of your throat. Okay, well imagine if you were to vape water, but steam. That doesn't burn your throat. Okay, so let's go over to the other end here. Let's say you wanted to vape isopropanol. How do you think that would feel on your throat? That would tear you up, wouldn't it? Anyone who's done shots of Everclear knows that. So, you know, your throat is very polar. It contains a lot of water. So you add water or you add something close to water like glycerin, it won't be affected. So that's why the vape world is what it is. Better for your throat because it's more polar. Better to dissolve flavors because it's less polar. And there you have it.